Follow the life of one of the greatest editors to ever do it. From humble beginnings to multiple Oscar-level nominations, a building in their honor at Universal Studios, and an untouchable legacy that is studied in school till this day. In today's video, we'll break down what can be learned from this titan of industry to apply to your daily craft to maximize your potential.
Nice.
Verna Hellman was born to a newspaper editor, Sam Hellman, who moved his family to Hollywood to work as a screenwriter on films. He sent Verna to a college in Paris to learn journalism, hoping she'd get a career outside of Hollywood, but Verna loved the film industry. She soon found herself volunteering at a Hollywood canteen. This led to her meeting a young assistant editor named Sam Fields, who she liked quite a bit. Her frequent visits to the studio to meet him got her discovered by famed director Fritz Lang, who noticed how excited she was and hired her as an experienced sound editor on his film, The Woman in the Window. With no prior experience, she learned on the job and joined the union a few years later. A seemingly simple start to a monumental career, but we can learn a critical lesson that not only applies to editing, but to all walks of professional life. Tip 1. Put yourself in situations that provides opportunities. After all, luck favors the prepared. Put yourself out there. It can make or break your career. Verna married Sam Fields, but after 8 years of marriage and 2 kids, tragedy struck when her husband died of cancer in 1954. Now she was a single parent of 2 kids who somehow had to make a living in an industry biased against women. In a pretty bad spot was the understatement of the century. A few years later, she gathered herself to the best of her ability and continued her grind, working sound editing jobs at 20th Century Fox and other studios. Verna Fields was tenacious and found creative ways to take care of her family while earning a living. She set up a home editing lab and took freelance jobs editing sounds for Saturday morning cartoons. Back then, film editing and sound work were seen as women's work because they were tedious and inglorious. They literally only hired them because they thought the work was similar to needlework, so a woman would be good at it. Because of this, Verna's rise was slow and hard-won. She spent years practicing her skills on low-budget projects before her years of effort started to bear fruit. Tip 2. The road to greatness doesn't just require you to be skilled, but strong enough to stay the course long enough for a breakthrough. Editors back then and today face a serious challenge. Their best work is often invisible. If a film is truly great, then the audience is too engrossed in the story to notice you've made any cuts at all. Even after working on critically admired movies, Verna was pretty much unknown to the public until the mid-70s, 20 years since he re-entered the industry. Tip 3. A great editor's work should only be noticeable by those who know the craft. You do your work right, and the audience should be too captured by the story to notice your cuts. The art of editing is the art of working in the background. Much of what editors do goes unnoticed. Our mission here at File Cabinet is to reduce the tedium of editing just a few hours each week by getting every editor from gathering their assets to editing as quickly as possible. We do this by eliminating the stress of file organization. Moving hundreds of files and manually tagging each video is hard work, and on long-running projects, it's easy to get disorganized. File Cabinet is a one-stop shop for indie editors and small teams to have their files organized in a simple and consistent way. Have every file automatically organized the moment you want to edit. Once you plug your drive into your computer or copy the file over, it's already organized, all without physically moving any files, keeping the links to your timeline intact. In addition to this, File Cabinet allows searching for a file based on what's happening inside the file, so renaming files isn't even necessary if you don't want to do it. The best part? File Cabinet is absolutely free. Try it today at filecabinet.io. Verna's years in the cutting room gave her an unshakable foundation of technical skill. She started off as a sound editor, learning to craft the backdrop of movies, a skill that would later help make her career. A notable early credit was on a B-movie under Fritz Lang called While the City Sleeps. Throughout the 50s, she worked in a variety of TV shows, handling sound effects and dialogue on multiple popular series. By 1959, Verna had contributed to the acclaimed documentary The Savage Eye, working with the heavyweights Ben Maddow, Sidney Meyers, and Joseph Strick. By 1962, her stellar performance would be recognized with the Golden Reel Award from the motion picture sound editors for her work on El Cid. Tip 4. Experience is not about the years in the industry, but exposure to new stimuli. By working on many kinds of videos, she built an untouchable repertoire that ended in awards. It was around this time Verna decided to transition from sound to picture editing. Director Irving Lerner, who knew Verna from The Savage Eye, recruited her to edit the feature Studs Loniga, giving her one of her first opportunities as a lead film editor. She went on to edit a handful of independent films and produce short documentaries for the US government. Every single one of these many varied projects sharpened her essential skills of the craft: pacing, narrative, dramatic emphasis. An example of this is her work in the cult thriller Targets in 1968. A climactic scene was shot entirely without audio, and she single-handedly added all the sound in post-production. From the scrape of the rifle to the crack of each gunshot, successfully transforming that scene forever. Critics would later single out that scene and describe the sound design as brilliantly mixed, a testament to Verna's meticulous craft. Verna also honed her expertise by teaching. In the mid-60s, she returned to USC as an instructor in film editing while being an active editor in the industry. She educated a new generation of filmmakers, emphasizing the flow of the story and the rhythm of each cut. Some examples of students who learned from her include George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, as well as John Milius, Matthew Robbins, and Gloria Katz. Many of these young filmmakers would soon bring to the studios the new Hollywood movement, and they knew exactly who to call when they needed a top-notch editor. Through teaching, Verna not only spread her knowledge widely, but also forged relationships that would later blossom into professional collaborations. This dual role as educator and practitioner cemented her reputation as the ultimate mentor figure in editing circles, earning her the nickname Mother Cutter from her grateful protege. Tip 5. A mark of true understanding is the ability to explain how you do what you do to those with no prior knowledge. Could you explain to a layman how to edit like a professional? Challenge yourself to find out. By the early 70s, Verna was a seasoned veteran of the industry. Her moment to shine was now here, blossoming with the new Hollywood movement brought into limelight by the students she educated. Former students and colleagues began recommending her for high-profile projects. In 1972, director Peter Bogdanovich, who remembered Verna's excellent work on Targets, asked her to join his team as the editor of What's Up, Doc? He used to do the editing himself, but chose Verna to do the edit this time. It was a smash hit and became known as one of his golden era successes. Verna's contribution was so widely appreciated that Bogdanovich hired her again for his 2 next films. After these, Bogdanovich later wrote her a letter confessing that when he realized he would have to make his next picture without her, he burst into tears. Tip number 6. In addition to good work, be nice and easy to work with. Be likable to everyone you interact with. They might be the key to getting your next project. No matter the profession, those who are well liked are remembered and rise higher. Verna got this job from a past work colleague, who definitely would not have called her if he hated working with her. Around this time, Verna reconnected with George Lucas, who was then working on American Graffiti. Lucas originally wanted his wife to edit the film, but Universal Studios insisted that the experienced Verna be brought on for her guidance. Verna joined them in piecing together an early cut of the film, which was then edited down to its final form, resulting in unexpected critical and commercial success. American Graffiti not only became a pop cultural landmark, it also earned Verna Fields an Academy Award nomination for Best Film Editing, shared with George Lucas's wife, Maria. George was so grateful to her that he bought her a red BMW as a thank you gift. At this point, Verna had gained a reputation as an editor that could save or elevate any film. This brought her to the attention of a young Steven Spielberg. Spielberg was a rising director in the 70s with some modest hits, and he enlisted Verna for his first major feature, The Sugarland Express. Verna not only helped him cut the film, but also served as a guiding hand to the 27-year-old Spielberg, who credited her with grounding his filmmaking. Their partnership went so well that he invited Verna to edit his next project, a little thriller about a great white shark that would soon make movie history. Verna had options on the next project to work on, but ended up choosing Jaws because it would start filming sooner. Tip 7. Your reputation precedes you. Guard it carefully. A good reputation will elevate your career just as a bad one will sink it. You don't want to be known as someone who produces poor quality work. When Verna began editing Jaws, she was 56 and at the peak of her abilities, which was lucky because the production of Jaws was a mess. Spielberg had decided to shoot the movie on the open ocean, but that choice led to several delays. Boats kept drifting into frame, weather and lighting changed unpredictably, and the film's mechanical shark kept breaking down. Weeks went by without a single minute of usable footage, as Spielberg worried that his career would sink just like his mechanical shark, Bruce. This was the environment Verna was walking into. Rather than trying to assemble Spielberg's original vision, Verna made a bold editorial decision: show less of the shark. She recognized that the creature's on-screen moments looked fake and caused laughter instead of fear, so she reframed the entire thriller over the absence of the shark, using skillful cutting to let the audience's imagination fill in the terror. In the editing room, Verna removed many of the shark shots and instead built suspense through point-of-view sequences, ominous sounds, and human reactions. For example, during attack scenes, she cut between underwater POV angles of the shark stalking swimmers and above-water shots of panicked beachgoers, without ever clearly showing the monster itself. She interwove the sight of floating yellow barrels, attached to the unseen shark underwater, presumably, with now iconic thumping two-note score by John Williams to signal the creature's presence. The result was far more frightening than any robber prop could ever have been. Don't show the shark, Verna had advised, and that counterintuitive approach became the genius of Jaws. By holding back and making viewers fear what they couldn't see, Verna and Spielberg turned a would-be B-movie into a masterpiece of sustained tension. Verna's touch went beyond the editing room as well. During post-production, Jaws was shown to test audiences, and the response was that the movie needed one more good scare before the finale. Spielberg was eager to add a jolt, but by then the ocean sets were long gone and the budget was depleted. Verna proposed an ingenious DIY solution: film a quick shark scene in her own backyard swimming pool. She and Spielberg devised the now infamous insert: the discovery of a severed head underwater. With a small crew, they filled Fields' pool with cloudy water, submerged boat hull, and dropped in a gruesome prosthetic head. In a few brief shots, Hooper wiping debris off the sunken hull, only for a dead man's face to loom into the frame, they created one of Jaws' most heart-stopping moments. It's a scene that has made viewers jump out of their seats, filmed in calm, chlorinated waters of Verna Fields' suburban pool. This anecdote speaks to Verna's resourcefulness and collaborative spirit. She literally opened her home to improve the film. Tip number 8, and maybe the most important of all: be resourceful, be scrappy, be driven. Use what you already have to do whatever it takes to succeed. Thank you for watching.